My name is Fernando Mendez. I'm here on behalf of Halos in the Infield. I am joined here by JT, who is
How you doing?
also from Halos in the Infield, the king of Angels TikTok, some would say. First of all, do you even like that nickname? I mean, I know I just kind of gave it to you.
I like it. I like it. Angels aren't a fan base like the Dodgers, so there's less of us out there. But I'll take that title.
Hey, yo, like I say, I'd rather have four quarters than 100 pennies. I mean, like Dodger fans
Yeah, exactly.
don't always know much about the
Hmm.
game itself.
Yeah,
So, don't get me wrong, we have our fair weather Angels fans too, but I feel like we have a really knowledgeable fan base. Like,
exactly.
Angels Twitter is like super knowledgeable about the game. Some of them have some bad opinions, but that's just how baseball is, right? That's how sports are. But maybe you can get some of that knowledge over on Angels TikTok.
Will do, will do.
Do you
But
like do you like doing TikTok, by the way?
yeah, I mean, like I haven't done it for long to be honest with you. I prefer watching the videos, but like if I find like a funny sound, I like making jokes about it because I love the Angels, but they're very memeable franchise. We're kind of the
Oh
West
yeah.
Coast Mets in a way, but yeah, I find a funny sound. I like making an Angels version of it, and hopefully it gets more views more in the future.
It will. It will. Give it some time. What's your favorite TikTok you think you made so far? Oh, on our account.
Um, I like the either like the Andrew Heaney one or the oh this is perfect and then it showed Arte Moreno at the end. But either or, I like those two.
My favorite, I think, was the Michael Lorenzen one.
Oh yeah, the one who wears Vans, yeah.
That one was gold. I laughed my ass off. All right, cool. Well, as much fun as it is to talk about TikTok, make sure to follow the TikTok. JT does some good work over there. But we're here to talk about the Anaheim Ducks because Angels Night is coming up. If you're listening at the time of release, that's like tomorrow because this will be coming out at Wednesday. The game's on the 6th, which is a Thursday. So for starters, Ducks are impressing this year. I'm a
Oh
Coyotes
yeah.
fan, but I do follow the Ducks because my fiance is a big Ducks fan. Obviously, I live in Orange County. So, what's going right this year for the Ducks?
It's hard to say to be honest with you. In my opinion, we're kind of like a San Francisco Giants type of team right now. Like you don't expect anything at all, and then we're just coming out of nowhere. I kind of think it's our young core bringing a new age of hockey, more skill and finesse with the speed, and then we have older veteran players that kind of back them up a bit. Like we have players like Nick Delorier, Ryan Getzlaff, and Cam Fowler to kind of keep that edge, and then we have young players like Trevor Zegers, Max Comtois, Troy Terry. List goes on to get the pucks in the back of the net.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah, the Anaheim Ducks. So it's been a couple years since they've been out. They've been back in the playoffs, right? I believe
Yeah,
for three.
2018 we got swept, and then last time we won a cup was like 2007.
Yeah, yeah. I know it's been a little while since you guys have won the cup,
Yeah.
but I know the Ducks had quite a dominant run there for the better part of the last decade, right? I mean, I know you
Oh
said
yeah.
2018 was the last playoffs, but before that, it was playoffs almost every season, right?
Hmm. There was a time where I could point my finger at the Ducks and be like, okay, they're not only serious playoff contenders, but I could definitely see them winning the cup. And it's such a bummer that we didn't take full advantage of it because there was a solid 2 3 years where I picked them as my favorite, non-biased. Like we had the most skill, we played best as a team, and like in the Pacific Division, it was pretty low at that point. So I'd say 2014 to 2016, or yeah, 2014 to 2016, 17, we had a strong chance of winning the cup, and we just never pulled through.
Yeah, I think I remember like vividly telling my fiance's well, just girlfriend at the time, like around 2018, like after the sweep happened, I remember telling her like this is where like the Ducks should probably tear it down because the
Hmm.
team was getting older. You know what I mean? The San Diego
Yeah,
Gulls were starting to develop some prospects, but it wasn't to the potential where the Ducks were going to have some staying power. And I remember telling him like, you guys, the Ducks should have just shred the team up at that point. You know what I mean? They should have traded
yeah.
Getzlaff at that time. I know Getzlaff is doing well this year, which
Like I
I
don't.
know has caught you off guard.
Yeah. Not a big Getzlaff guy to be honest. I love what he's done for our franchise, but I don't like him at the moment. In my opinion, I thought he should have retired, go out on a good note because now it's kind of an issue right now. But I think we should have done what the LA Kings have done. Obviously, it's a little different now just because the fact we're playing so good. So it's kind of like trying to put a sock in my mouth, you know. But Yeah, we should have gotten rid of that championship caliber team, rebuilt it, got some new prospects, some young guns that have a lot of potential, and then I feel like we would have been in that playoff race maybe last year, or even this year. Even though we are playing good right now, I say we should have fully embraced that rebuild.
Okay, so there's a lot of Angels fans who are just going to be like, "Oh, I don't really know about the Ducks." So we kind of wanted to bring you on here so you can educate everybody, catch them up to speed for anybody who might be going to the Ducks game who might not be a Ducks fan per se, but they like hockey or they're just trying to get into it. So what kind of things do they need to know to get caught up before they watch the game, or if they want to get into the Ducks? Like, what are the things to know right now to be a knowledgeable fan and not be one of those people who's like, oh, blah blah blah.
So, first of all, star players. I think John Gibson. If you want to compare him to a Mike Trout type of status, he's not GOAT status like Mike Trout, but he's pretty damn close. He's always been top tier goaltender ever since he's been in the league. Uh, I 100% believe that our record would be a lot lower if it wasn't for John Gibson. He's our star as of right now, and then you got to keep your eye on Trevor Zegers, Matt Comtois, and Troy Terry. They are our young guns, our stars. They're going to be the names of the franchise in the future, and hopefully the names of the league.
Who are the two that paired up for that really sick goal where the guy popped it
Oh
up
yeah.
behind the net and the other guy hit it down? Who was that?
So the guy who passed it to him was getting all the love right now. That's Trevor Zegras. That's our young guy. And then the second guy is Sonny Milano. He was drafted in 2014, so he's a little bit older, but he's still a young gun. He can still get it done for us. So they have that good chemistry because they both grew up in New York together, so they have that little thing in common. And uh, it's crazy to think how much chemistry that could bring. But oh my goodness, they play amazing together on the ice.
Okay, are they both from the system? Were they San Diego goals together?
Kind of. So Sonny Milano, he was drafted by the Columbus Blue Jackets, kind of been here and there for a bit. I know Trevor Zegers and him played for the San Diego Gulls for a little bit when they were at Great Park Ice last year. But Trevor Zegers is really known from his World Juniors games and his Boston College games. So he practically went straight to the league from the World Juniors and then a little bit in the San Diego team for a little bit of development, but a short amount of time in San Diego. The majority of their compatibility has come from Anaheim.
Okay, I mean, just the amount of mental understanding of each other that goal must have taken it's
Oh yeah,
crazy. Like that was all over Sports Center. That was
yeah,
that was all over the internet. That was just like one of those like whoa, like you don't have to like hockey
yeah.
to appreciate like that was a really cool goal.
You
I've
know it's
never seen that
crazy.
before.
Oh yeah, me neither. But like it's crazy when Bleacher Report is posting that. So it's great for the game, great for the Ducks. And I play hockey. We've tried that trick so many times already. Not in game, but in practice. Whenever we have free time, we always try doing it. I can never get it in. It's harder than it looks, that's for sure. But yeah, super cool. Definitely going to be a highlight reel goal for many years, and glad it's the Anaheim Ducks.
Do they? I've only been to a couple of Ducks games. They don't have like a calling all angels kind of thing, do they? You know how they would take a video before? Because I'm trying to wonder, like, is that a goal that would make those kind of highlight reels that just are Ducks immortality?
Oh yeah, 100%. So we used to have a really cool thing. We used to have like that alternative punk thing. Like we would have Mute Math, Broham, and then not the monkeys, the Arctic Monkeys. So we would have that vibe, and now it's kind of indie hipster. Not a fan of that. It kind of ruins the whole vibe of the hockey. But yeah, that'll definitely be in their pump up video next year. But it's a little cool thing in between though because both Angels and Ducks use Broham, like the home run song, so it's a little cool thing that the Ducks brought in and then the Angels adapted to.
Yeah, huh, I forgot about that. Um, so, what are some comparisons that you can make for some non-hockey fans to try to bring it like for real life? Like, for instance, like you said that John Gibson is kind of like the Mike Trout of the Ducks. What are some other comparisons you can think about? Is there any Walshes, Fletchers, Otanis in the sense of, like their playing style? Like Fletcher's a little more scrappy. Otani's kind of a two-way guy. Is there a guy that plays offense, defense, etc.?
Yeah, so it's a little difficult to point a finger at someone compared to Otani because nobody's like him, to be honest. But the
But in
closest
hockey,
person
you have
I,
the plus minus stat, right?
yeah,
I would imagine that would
yeah.
kind of help.
So it's kind of similar in a way, but I could see Max Jones as our Otani, not necessarily offense defense, but he can put the puck in the back of net and he can beat the living crap out of someone if he wanted to, you know. So he has a strong physicality side and he definitely has a finesse to get pucks in deep. So I'd say that's probably the closest to a Shohei Otani type with a two-way style. And I'd say Troy Terry. He's one of our younger guys. He's more of a Jared Walsh. He's kind of under the radar. Not too many people know about him, but if they do, they only say great things. He's only really been doing great stuff for our franchise. There's been little small things like little slumps, just like how Jared Walsh would be. But when he's hot, he's practically unstoppable.
Halos in the Infield will be right back after this message.
Are you sick of sandpaper tongue? Do you prefer your sunflower seeds to be non GMO, gluten free, and without all that bullshit MSG? If so, do we have some good news for you? Introducing Chinook Seedery with some of the best sunflower seeds on the market. Be sure to check out all 7 of their non GMO, gluten free flavors today. To help out Halos in the Infield, head on over to halosintheinfield.com and click on our sponsor link. Chinook Seedery. Carpe.
Viva Los Angelitos! This is Fernando with Halos in the Infield. Are you tired of staying up all night scrolling through Instagram trying to keep up with the latest fashion trends? Are you so tired of trying to memorize all these rules of what you can and can't wear? We have a solution for you. Redbubble.com / Halos in the Infield for merch that is the hottest merch in the game. And oh yeah, it's always in style. Don't believe us? Check for yourself. HalosInTheInfield.com or go to Redbubble and type in Halos in the Infield. Have a great day and Viva Los Angelitos!
Okay. Do you think a lot of the Ducks this year are going to be making All-Star games, or do you think it'd just be one or two?
Um, that's kind of hard to say, to be honest with you, because in my opinion, I see them all the time. I think a lot of them should be all stars, but there's so many great players around the league, and obviously Anaheim isn't a hot spot for NHL hockey just because Southern California compared to like somewhere in Toronto. But I could see someone like Troy Terry being in there, definitely John Gibson, and then Trevor Zegras. I would love to see him in the All Star game, but I think he's too young. But he'll have more opportunities.
Okay, cool. So only a couple then, if any. Oh
Yeah,
well,
like
is
two at
hockey like
most.
baseball, where you every team needs a representative?
That's what I thought for a while, but then there's a couple years where there's no Montreal Canadiens, no New York Islanders, so I think they try to do it, but sometimes there's they can pull out, or sometimes there's just no good players on the team, you know. So I think they try to do it, but it doesn't always work out.
Yeah, well, the Coyotes only ever had like one player. I think last year they might have had like two, or
Yeah,
maybe
they
the year before that, because I think they had Keller one year, they had
yeah
Oliver Ekman Larson, and then maybe Mike Smith, if I remember
yeah
correctly.
yeah. Clayton Keller's probably closest to your guys' Zegras. Is such a bummer you guys got rid of Connor Garland though. That was a cool player to have.
Yeah, there's a lot of players who I was mad they got rid of. Like Derek Stepan was like one of the biggest ones. I was so
Oh
bummed when
yeah.
they got rid of him because he was good.
hmm
But yeah, I mean, Coyotes, trash franchise, but I love them anyway.
Yeah, if it wasn't for this season, we'd be in the same boat right now.
Yeah, I know the Ducks season this year has caught a lot of people by surprise. I know we already
Oh
said
yeah.
that. Do you think that this momentum for them is going to carry on? And now try not to be a homer, but do you think they will make the playoffs, or do you think that reality might set in a little bit and they'll just up in the middle of the pack? What do you think is going to happen?
So I'd obviously love them to make the playoffs. I'd love them to win the Stanley Cup, sweep them, you know. But it's already starting to start, you know. They lost 2 of the past 2 games after the COVID break. Because I don't know if you knew that, but the NHL had a kind of COVID lockout for a bit in between Christmas because all the cases.
About
So
a week,
yeah, about a week.
maybe week and a half.
So right when that happened, I had a feeling like this is not good. We had strong momentum, and then it's just lost after that. We had to start from square one, and yeah. So I think our momentum's already going down. And in my opinion, it's a good time for it to go down at least. So we're not going to be let down by the players near the end of the season if we don't make it, because we still have the trade deadline coming up. If we become that team that's more draft heavy, then we can make some moves during the deadline. But I I don't see us making playoffs. It was a great run. It was fun to watch, but I don't think it can last.
Okay, well, you brought up the trade deadline, and one of our last questions here before we wrap up is so the Ducks would probably make a couple moves, I'm assuming, especially if they're still contending, which they currently are. I think are they still one of the top seeds?
They were last time I checked, but they did just lose to Colorado either yesterday or 2 days ago. So they're either
They're second.
first or
They're
third.
second for the record.
All
I'm
right.
looking right now. They're behind Vegas.
Okay. Yeah, and then
Vegas has
Vegas.
22 wins and 12 losses, where we currently stand right now during this interview, and the Ducks are 17 and 11.
Definitely can come up, but definitely can go back down.
But they have 7 overtime losses, right? Is that what that means?
For the
OT
Ducks
stat?
or
Yeah. The
yeah.
OT stat means 7 overtime losses?
Yes, the OT stands for overtime. I don't think it necessarily means losses.
Okay.
I think it definitely means they went to overtime. And honestly, if we lose in overtime, I'd rather lose in overtime than lose in regulation because you get the 1 point for it. But yeah, overtime hasn't been too kind to us, but is funny enough. If we can make it through that overtime, we're really good in the shootout just because our finesse players.
Yeah, you guys, where we currently stand, have 41 points. So,
Yeah, we're
just for comparison, my Coyotes have 15 points. So, so killing it down there on the bottom. That's what we do best. I always joke that my family's a family who likes losers. So,
Hey, you guys got
Coyotes, Broncos, Angels. I love losing.
Oh no, not the Broncos. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, man. Hey,
No,
they
no
might
sweat.
get Aaron
You're a
Rodgers though.
Packers fan, right?
I'm 49ers.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
thought you were a
yeah.
Packers fan for some reason.
Oh no. 49ers for sure. But yeah, you guys have a really good chance of getting a star QB this season. So yeah.
Yeah, great. So we could contend for another year or two, and then go back to mediocrity. Go back to
Hey, like you guys have a really full team right now. Just get that QB in there, and then crazy contenders.
yeah. It got a little better once John Elway stopped trying to touch everything.
Oh
But
yeah,
John Elway, you're a great quarterback. You're bad at choosing quarterbacks. Almost everything you touch breaks.
Arte
It's
Moreno of
horrible.
the NFL. You know.
Yeah, basically. Okay. I'm trying to think. Anything else? Anything you want to add while I try to think if there's any other questions?
Maybe like trade deadline, who had to get rid of for what or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. Is there any prospects that you can maybe see the Ducks moving to make any significant moves? And if so, what are some of the moves you would like to see made?
So for prospects, a little hard to say just because the World Juniors never really happened. That's where you get the majority of your inputs from the World Juniors for prospects. But I'd say we need to focus on draft picks, getting younger players, maybe sign some under the radar veterans for lesser deals because that's been our issue for a while. While Bob Murray was our GM, he's not a GM anymore, thankfully. But we'd oversign players for like 8 years and then way too much money. So I think what we need to focus on is just getting younger players and then some cheaper players that we can rely on. So like sounds crazy. I know this sounds crazy. I'd get rid of John Gibson, the deadline. Excuse me. And my reasoning behind that is because even though we're playing good right now, we're not out of the rebuild. The rebuild is not over yet. Once the rebuild is over, I do not see John Gibson being John Gibson, if you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
our backup goalie, Anthony Stolarz, he's the type of player that needs that development. He has a bright future. He can get it done. I think he's gotten like 2-3 shutouts already. So he definitely has that star potential. He just needs to be on the ice more. So I think this would be best for him. Build through the rebuild, and let's say he doesn't pan out to anything, trade him in between. We're already rebuilding. Why not, right? So not only that, but what we can get for John Gibson right now, we can at least get a first rounder, but I'd honestly say we can get another all-star caliber player too. So John Gibson would be one I'd get rid of. Maybe get rid of Josh Manson, Hampus Lindholm, and Ricard Raquel, either or, they have horrendous contracts, and I doubt when they're free agents they're gonna get league minimum. They're gonna want that big deal, that long deal, and that's not what we need right now.
What do you think? So when do you think this rebuild will stop, or maybe officially finish, if you will? Like, when do you think the glory days will be back for the Ducks, if according to your projections?
So considering the young prospects that we have right now, that they're constantly improving, they're turning out, in my opinion, to be future stars. I'd say we're right back in that Stanley Cup conversation about 4 or 5 years.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe trading someone like John Gibson is the answer. I mean, they should have traded Getzlaf a while ago, in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah, like
when
hey,
he had a lot of value.
The Red Sox, they traded Mookie Betts, and it didn't look great for 2020, but the next season they came out firing. So sometimes you just need to change the scenery.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to get younger guys in there.
I mean, the Coyotes traded away their captain, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and got a haul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy what you can get sometimes for trading one piece. So maybe as of right now, you're right, and Gibson is their biggest piece. And, it's not going to be a popular trade right away, but it could be a situation where maybe you guys suck for one more year, but next thing you know, just like the Red Sox, you come firing back, and
Exactly.
sometimes that's the quicker way. So, no, I understand where you're coming from. It's never fun to hear. I'm sure Red Sox fans weren't hyped about trading away Mookie, but it worked out for them.
Yeah, look what happened. They didn't win the World Series, obviously, but they were definitely in that conversation. No one really expected that. So, I'd say sometimes it's a tough pill to swallow, but it has to be done eventually, because by the time you're that good team, he's not going to be that same player. I think he's peaking either now or 2 years from now. So it's not going to be the same John Gibson. And then, I forgot what I was going to say. So,
I was going to say, Go ahead and finish. But okay, well, I think that's going to do it. That answers just about all of our questions.
Are you sad that this podcast is almost over? Well, never fear, because Halos in the Infield has you covered with so much content you could drown in it. Literally, content for days. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok. Chances are, if we're on it, you'll find us there. Just search up Halos in the Infield. Also, you can head on over to halosintheinfield.com for some of our most popular episodes and interviews that you have known to come and love. Make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. Tell your friends and review with a 5-star rating, please. Thank you so much for your endless support. We absolutely love you.
JT, I think we're expecting to see you over at the softball game. Everything goes well, correct?
Yeah. So, I've never played Little League or anything like that. Always really stuck to hockey, to be honest with you. But I played with my friends. I'm very competitive, so hopefully I can get a couple runs in.
Well, for whatever reason, we have a shootout in the softball game. You're going first.
Oh yeah, you got it.
All right. Well, JT, nice enough to join us. Make sure to check him on the Anaheim Die Hard Minute. He does them as often as he can. He does a good job with those. Make sure to follow us on TikTok for all of JT's content over there. Do you have any of your socials you want to plug, or?
I think the main one is the TikTok, the Halos in the Infield TikTok. But I do have an Instagram. My personal Instagram is jt.hester, and the last E is a 3. You can follow that if you want, but make sure to hit up that Halos in the Infield TikTok first.
Perfect. Well, we appreciate the shameless plug, and keep rocking, man. Thank you very much for your time, and Viva Los Angelitos.